Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Tahir Dhindsa and you are watching SDTV. Upper Indus region is very rightly, it's called sometime the third pole, because the glacial ice which is there is nowhere else in the world except the two poles. And that is a common human heritage. No boundary can divide that. Rivers flow from one boundary. It's all transboundary. If one country is affected, other is going to wildlife and anything. And one organization, EC Mode, has always been advocating cooperation on issues which are larger than the countries and a single human being. They are bigger than all that. We have an opportunity to have today with us Director General of the EC Mode, Mr. Pema Gyamtsho, and we are going to ask him. He knows the region, he knows the etiology of things, and what is it. A very warm welcome. Just tell us something about VF Talk and then we'll rumble on.
Thank you very much for having me on your show, and it's a great privilege to be back in Pakistan. I've been here several times, and always a pleasure to meet friends here. So today we also met so many of our partner institutions here. So ICMO, the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development, as you rightly pointed out, works for the Hindu Kush Himalayan region. Now again, as you mentioned, this region is often known as the third pole. And that is because outside of the North Pole and the South Pole, we have the largest mass of ice and largest number of glaciers. We have over 54,000 glaciers, and out of which around 7,000 glaciers are in Pakistan. So Pakistan is a very important member of ICMO. And as you know, now the biggest impact of climate change is on our glaciers, the fast melting of our ice, snow, and then often resulting in glacial lake outburst floods and disasters. We call it GLOF. Downstream is happening with increasing frequency and intensity. So that is where we are trying to see how the region can work together. We have 8 member countries starting from Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. Of course, Bangladesh and Myanmar do not have glaciers as such, but they are at the receiving end of all that is happening upstream in our mountains. So we try to look at these issues as a transboundary issue. No one country can address this issue on its own. So if you look at floods, it doesn't stop at our borders. If you look at air pollution, it also doesn't stop in our airspace. Within our airspace is transboundary. And also look at the biodiversity. The animals that we protect, like snow leopard, they need free movement. They need space. So unless we provide that space, they are going to disappear as well. So that is the area where we work. Of course, in the middle of it, at the center, are the communities living in the mountains. How can we support them to become more resilient and more adapted to the changing conditions? Now, as you know, water sources are drying up on the one hand. On the other hand, due to, too much rain or due to too much water, we're experiencing floods. So it's all about addressing either the issue of too much water, floods and disaster, or too little water. We have droughts and equally disastrous.
Water is very much related to the mountains.
Yes.
Just tell us in a very short interview which we are doing today, what are the one or two main things you would advocate to all the countries of the region that they should cooperate on?
Yes. So as I was mentioning, no single country can address these challenges that we are facing. It's an existential threat, I would say. Yes. Imagine, 10 of the largest rivers in Asia originates from the Hindu Kush Himalayan mountains. You name the, Indus, the Brahmaputra, the Ganges, all of them have their origins in the mountains of the Hindu Kush Himalayan region. Now they would impact not only us, the people living in the mountains or within the valleys, within the mountains, but millions of people downstream. Our estimate
plain
is something
area.
like 1.9 billion people, close to 2 billion people. As almost one fourth of the world's population
Humanity.
depend on the water resources from the Hindu Kush Himalayas for food production, for energy generation, water security overall. So the economic,
As well,
the
yeah.
health, yes, economy, as well as the very livelihoods of all these people depend on the resources that the mountains provide. So therefore, it is our collective responsibility to reduce the emissions that accelerate the grazing, the melting of our glaciers, the warming process. Now we have seen how unpredictable the weather patterns are, and also the change in precipitation from snowfall to rainfall. So we don't get snow the way we used to do it before.
That is shifting the
It's
rain
shifting,
pattern.
yeah, snow to rain. So when rain falls on the ice, actually it also accelerates the melting. So there's a lot of changes that are going on, and we have already experienced extreme heats. So these extreme events are increasing. Now sometimes extreme heat, sometimes extreme cold, unpredictable rainfall patterns, unseasonal. When the rain comes, it comes in buckets. When it doesn't come, we don't have rain for long periods of time, and
Do you think for resilience we should develop more infrastructures like dams and
yes,
all that to
yes,
store
yes.
water?
Yes, we need to look at different options. We need to have communication. We need to have evidence based, the information, and also, we need to be more careful about where we build. So if we build along river beds which are already exposed and vulnerable to floods, definitely we will suffer the disasters and suffer losses and damages. So infrastructure is one of the key areas where we need to be much more careful. More careful,
Redesign
yes,
them for
yes,
sure.
redesign.
So, Swama, thank you very much for giving us so much time and looking forward.
Thank you very much.
Bye for
So
now.
please keep in touch.
So, with this, we come to the end of this short interview. And as you know, it's very interesting, and that is fact of the matter. And that is very relevant for to the climate change and what is happening. Also, always bring more on these subjects. So, bye for now.